hand full of value here. So of course, we mill the Shudderwock. The one card that we couldn't afford to mill, we end up milling. And as the game would go on, I would end up with a board full of legendaries. Seems good. Got a 10-10, 6-6, 4-3, Divine Shield. Surely he doesn't have an answer to this. Surely not. But of course, they always have an answer. You just gotta wait for a bit, as they think it over.
Let the pain speak to me.
And there it is. There's the brawl. So now you hope for the best possible outcome. And we actually get the best possible outcome. Mechathune survives. Absolutely tremendous. Just got to make sure it survives until we have no cards left in our deck or our hand, and then find a way to kill it off, and then win. But surely he's got no answer. Yep, he has an answer. They always have an answer. And then we mill Elysiana, and we concede. Yeah. Moving on. This game against a warrior, I felt the need to draw a 5-cost spell. And what do I draw? A bomb that actually kills me, because Baron Geddon is on the board. And there was nothing I could do here. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. My luck. My terrible, terrible luck. Okay, what am I playing today? I am playing Jon011684's Control Shaman. This is a deck that I found on Reddit. There was a discussion about Control Shaman decks, and I found this deck. I looked at the cards, I had all the cards, and I thought, okay, this looks like something I would enjoy playing. You've got some good early games. Sludge Slurper, at least to me, is one of the best early game cards in the game at the moment. It's a phenomenal 1-drop. You have Doomsayer, so you know you have ways there of disrupting the the march of aggro decks early on. Moving on, you have plenty of AoE in this deck. There's double Lightning Storm, and you have Hagatha's Scheme. I love Hagatha's Scheme. Phenomenal card. In fact, it's even better when you play Hagatha the Witch. You play some minions, and then the spells coming back into your hand are cards like Lightning Storm and Hagatha's Scheme. So you have more ways of finding AoE later on in the game. Plenty of other defensive options in the game in terms of Reign of Toads, which puts down some taunts onto the board. You have Ziliax, and looking at the late game plan with this deck, you have Archivist Elysiana, who I milled in that earlier clip, and she helps you in the fatigue battle. And once you've used up all of the cards that she's given you, you play the Shudderwock, and you get a nice little refill in your hand, and your deck. And if you're lucky, you may have Barista Lynchen in your hand. Play her, and the Shudderwock comes back to your hand. So let's have a look at this deck in action on the standard mode ladder.
Rusticon versus Illyria.
Okay, our first game is against a Hunter.
You stand before King.
And I predict that this will be a quick game. The Hunter's probably going to be aggressive. So keeping the Sludge Slurper and the Lightning Storm makes sense. Doomsayer is a fantastic pickup. And interestingly, he doesn't have a 1-drop. Well, that's good for me. The Lackey is playable next turn. We're only overloaded for 1. And no 2-drop either. Wow. Which begs the question, is he an aggro deck? If he's an aggro deck, I'll take a 1/4 taunt. Pretty decent. Coining out our 4-drop here seems reasonable. Developing a 3/4 body on the board is fine, and we've got both Hagatha's schemes in our hand. Happy to have both of those available, and they will upgrade as each turn goes on. And this is a mech hunter who seems to like to play with bombs. Fork Lightning could do some work for us here. Will allow us to trade into his bombs, keep our minions healthy, and clear the board. We do need to take careful note of our health total here. We're at 24, which is great. But that's another bomb on board.
What is my purpose?
So our health total may as well be at 22 if you account for the 2 damage. Yeah, we need to watch that health total. Bonfire Elemental, really good pickup because we can play it next turn and draw a card. We've got this Doomsayer in hand, and I'm thinking about when I can play that, when I can use that. Because right now there's no need. We have control of the board, and we're in a pretty good position. Usually it's the other way around. Usually it'd be the mech hunter putting out a fair bit more pressure, and me struggling to keep up with his mechs. But we've got Lightning Storm, we have Doomsayer, we have double Hagatha scheme. And our health total is still pretty respectable. It feels like at some point soon, we could end up being the aggressor. And that's absolutely fine. That is quite a threatening board. But I think we play the MC Tech here. Hope to steal the 5-1. Or the 2-1. Of course it doesn't happen, but that's fine. At the very least, we've developed a 3-3 and got a 1-1. And now we Lightning Storm, clear the board, and push a little bit more face damage. Slowly but surely, we're doing that chip damage to his face. Oh wow. Okay, that's a great play from him. And that is putting him firmly in control of the board. For the first time in quite some time. But thank goodness for Hex. And Doomsayer. It is very unlikely that he'll have a way to kill off the Doomsayer. So this has just bought me a turn, through which I can take the initiative. We're down to 17 though. So, what do we pick? Lightning Storm and Far Sight seem like the sensible options here. And those Hagatha schemes are continuing to grow. We have Omega Mind in hand, so very soon we can do some healing. But there's no real need at this point in time. I mean, that Ziliax is pretty threatening. But we can just continue playing it slow, stalling. I want him to commit more to the board before I play Hagatha's scheme. We're down to 15 now. And that is slightly concerning. Not overly concerning, because we have Omega Mind and Hagatha Scheme. We can heal up whenever we want. We just don't want to leave it too late. And I think the Ziliax there is a reasonable hex target. We have 3 taunts on the board. How's he going to break through? So 11 damage schemes in hand. Okay, that's another bomb. Make that a poisonous bomb. And the hero power continuing every single turn. We're down to 13. Take into account the damage from the bomb. We may as well be at 11. So, is it just time to blow up the board? And heal. Sure, why not? Heal to 30, which is actually now 28. That's fine. That is the equivalent of playing Reno Jackson. Feels pretty amazing. And with 2 cards in hand, very unlikely that he deals with a Doomsayer here, so the initiative goes back to us next turn. And all of that damage he did with those bombs has now been negated because of that healing. And now, it really doesn't matter what we play, what we do. I think we're in such a good position. We could just close our eyes and blindly click on cards, and I think we'd still win the game. Because as an aggro deck, he's now out of resources. There's not much he can do. Now, we didn't need to commit on that board, but I valued the card draw from Far Sight. And playing a discounted Ziliax is actually amazing. It feels really good. So, yeah, what does he do now? Creates another bomb? Sure. I mean, we have healing in our hand. There is no way we lose this game. And it's such a great feeling when you've exhausted an aggro deck of all of their threats, and you're slowly building your board, and they know that they're not going to win the game. And yet they're still hanging on, they're still trying, they're still fighting. But that slow feeling of inevitability of, yeah, we're going to lose. I mean, Ziliax here, just healing us. Just do whatever we want. This is great.
Access denied.
Well, access denied. That's a pretty big talk. How do we get through that? Well, we can do the 2 damage burst there.
Extra Star Whip, High Mountain Ice, and Savannah Spice coming right up.
That's fine. That gets us through. And look at the value in our hand. This is amazing. So, is he dead next turn? Do we have enough damage?
Most impressive.
Not enough on board. Interesting that he's targeting the Spell Power Totem and not the 1/1. And I fancy having a bit of fun here. We're going to give him a chance. We're going to clear some of our own board and say, okay, we've got only one thing on our board now. Do your best. Okay, access denied once again. Yeah, that taunt in the way, preventing a lethal there. I guess we just play the horror. And what's interesting is we have Electra in hand. If we'd played Electra and the horror, would that have cast Lightning Storm twice?
Name, please?
Considering it's not me that cast the Lightning Storm, it was the horror, I guess it wouldn't have worked. But anyway, we have the 6-cost Shudderwock in hand, and I'm really hoping that he doesn't concede here, because I want to play the Shudderwock, no matter what. Oh, too bad. So, pretty cool win against an aggro deck.
You stand before King Rastakhan.
Okay, this is our final game of the video, and we are looking back retrospectively on this game, reflecting on our plays, the good plays, the bad plays, the misplays. And this is a 40-minute game. So strap yourselves in, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a long one. There are those of you out there who've been asking me for longer videos, longer games. Well,
Welcome.
you're going to get it now.
May bow before me.
You're going to get this 40-minute game. And also, this is 40 minutes of me talking. Don't quite know what I'm going to talk about for 40 minutes now, and to try and keep it interesting. It's going to be tough, but we'll see how we go. Okay, so,
Most
armor up, and don't end your turn. Okay, there we go. So, going into a game like this, you're going to expect it to go long,
let the
but
pain speak
you
to me.
certainly don't expect it to go 40 minutes. Nothing can really prepare you for that, and the longer the game goes, the more misplays you make, the more tired you get. Okay, hexing the Acolyte there I think was the right play. Want to deny him the ability to draw cards, and therefore denying him options to work with. That was the justification. So, the barista here looks pretty tempting. It's either that or Ziliax.
Double pump Azarano, extra Star Wars, High Mountain Ice Cream for Mana Spice coming right up.
Okay.
You didn't need that, did you?
Oh, okay. Hagatha's scheme. So, we lose a Hagatha's scheme, clears the board. That's fine, because we now have the initiative, I guess, and he'll have to react to what we play. So it's fine. The question is, what do we play?
Stormy, stormy.
Okay. Probably should have played the one drop first, maybe. But it's worked out pretty well. The music on the barista sounds like something you'd hear in World of Warcraft when you walk into an inn in Stormwind. Yeah, sounds like inn music.
Unity, precision,
Okay, my opponents play Dr. Boom, and when they play Dr. Boom, it usually means that they mean business, and things are picking up.
Face me, you inept ingrate.
Oh god.
Can strike twice.
Hecklebot is really, really scary, because there are two cards in this deck that are really important. The Shudderwock and Elysiana.
The calm before the storm.
Neither of which is in my hand at the moment. So, yeah, Hecklebot could really ruin my day.
Ride the lightning!
Okay, let's see if this can tempt out a brawl. 6 cards on board. Let's see how he reacts to this. This is very much a brawlable board. Because there's actually a lot of damage here. Okay, Warpath, sure. And there's the Shudderwock. Okay, that's really good. I assume he plays one more copy of Hecklebot in his deck, so at least we don't have to worry about the Shudderwock being pulled out onto the board. But what do we do now? There are so many options, potentially.
For my
There's
glory.
Hagatha, there's the Toads, there's Doomsayer. What do we do? Not an easy decision to make. I mean, the one thing that we don't do is we do not Shudderwock. We only Shudderwock after we play Elysiana. So maybe we Storm Chaser, see what we get. Or maybe we just Hagatha. Develop Hagatha, get her on board.
Twist the tree, foul the lake, and curse this land!
So I struggle with Hagatha. Oh, there's the other Hecklebot. Ah, and the end is coming. That's actually pretty good for us. He used a Hecklebot and a Shield Slam there to deal with the Doomsayer. That's actually pretty good, because that's a Shield Slam that's now gone, and that will protect some of my my bigger minions in the deck. Yeah, I struggle with Hagatha, because I tend to find that if I'm not monitoring my hand carefully, I end up drawing these spells into my hand, and my hand becomes full, and then I start milling cards. Second copy of Electra there available to us. That's going to be very useful, potentially. I really love Reign of Toads. I think it's such a good card. Yes, it's very expensive.
This would be a good time for a master plan.
Against aggressive decks, those Toads, they have to work really hard to get through them. And there you go, there's a brawl. Huh. And a Toad survives. So, Raid of Toads, really good against aggro and really good at baiting out a brawl. So if we play Storm Chaser here, we will draw a card and get a spell into our hand from Hagatha. Maybe I don't want to do that. We just play some more Toads. See if he's got a second brawl. No? Just a Warpath, okay. Nine cards. We just play the frog. See, if we draw a card from our deck or put a card back into our hand, it's going to be problematic. Because Hagatha will also give us something back as well. Okay, that's fine actually. That didn't draw anything from our deck. So that means we've drawn everything that we can. That's fine. I need to keep better track of my cards. Okay, another slow turn from him.
Lightning can strike twice.
Rain of Toads or Eureka? I like the Toads again. Stormbringer? Which, okay, we can't actually get into our hand because our hand was full.
Gotcha!
So, not really benefiting from the value of Electra there, but we get a 3/3 body on the board, and that's the key thing. We've seen Brawl, we've seen Warpath,
Face me, you.
and that's another Hecklebot from Omega Assembly. Wow. Oh, only he has a Brawl, sure. So that's Brawl number 2, and a Toad survives. These Toads are really good at surviving brawls. So 10 cards in hand here. This is where Hagatha becomes somewhat awkward. So we play a minion, get a spell back to hand. It doesn't reduce the number of cards in our hand. Very awkward.
Tiny flies, flee before me.
Okay. So we need to play the lightning bolt here so we don't mill ourselves. Having haunting visions in our hand is pretty good. So these mechs are now going to be coming at us. Oh, Pinata. Snizzle466, if you're watching this this game, that's your card, the Pinata. Let's see what that Pinata is going to give him. If it gives him anything interesting. 10 cards. Guess play the Haunting Visions, or we could Lightning Storm here actually. Could play the Doomsayer and trade, or actually get some Murlocs on the board. And I'm not going to trade here. I'm not going to trade. The reason being that if we trade, we summon a Murloc, he passes. The Doomsayer only summons one Murloc. Perhaps he'll just go face with the 2/3, throw the hero power face, and we'll get 2 Murlocs on the board.
This would
Maybe.
be a good time for a master plan.
That was the line of thinking there. In hindsight, I probably should have traded. Because now it looks like he's going to kill the Doomsayer. But we got our 2 Murlocs, right? Five cards in our deck. getting closer to playing Elysiana, I think. Big Bad Voodoo is a tremendous card. And this is another Lightning Storm board, I think. But we want to play our 1-drop first. Ooh, another Big Bad Voodoo. And that Lackey is pretty good, but we Storm first. Okay, that's fine. This is still a board clear. And again, having to be constantly aware of how many cards we have in our hand.
I must decide.
Okay. Just wanted to develop board presence there. Just get some stuff down. And that's a Super Collider. Ouch. Oh, where's my Harrison Jones? He's dead. So, yeah.
Engaging TC-130 mental dislocator.
Stormbringer could be interesting, but I get the feeling we're not going to be in a position to have maybe more than one minion on the board at once. And happy to use one copy of Big Bad Voodoo because I've got a second one in hand. So, you'll notice that I threw away my Omega Mind there on an earlier turn, just because I wanted to get something going on the board, and not anticipating that I'll need to heal anytime soon. And Hecklebot, really good. Oh. Okay, it was good. It's now gone.
In swamp and city, two witches brew. Power for us, and death for you.
Feral Spirit seems like the pick. I've already got a Stormbringer in hand. Don't need another one. And Ancestral Spirit seems reasonable if we can cast it on one of our own minions.
Job's done.
$19 damage and 7 damage from Hagatha's schemes, looking pretty good. But at the rate things are going, we may not even get an opportunity to play them.
Precision.
What do we get? Okay. We get a 7/7 that's now dead. Alright, so try the horror here. And this is where things would get a little bit awkward. Because I have to cast Ancestral Spirit on something, but I cannot cast it on the horror. And I didn't realise that. I didn't realise that. It's really annoying and really awkward. So, I guess that I could just Hagatha's scheme here. We'll use one of them. Just to avoid me having to cast Ancestral Spirit on one of his minions.
Job's done.
At least we get the taunts. That's something. But yeah, I'm learning as we're going here. Learning about these new cards that I've not played before.
Light the fuses!
Almost out of cards.
Okay, we're almost out of cards. So very soon, Elysiana will see play. But for the time being, what do we want to do? Haunting Visions, I think, is our only play here. If we're going to play anything.
A path dimly lit.
I don't want to play Elysiana just yet. Because we still have one card left in the deck. Feral Spirit? I guess. Put something on the board. And I just want to empty my hand a little there, so freezing his face. Was there any particular reason to do so? I guess it protects one of our wolves. And okay, he's played another Hecklebot. But thank goodness the Shudderwock and Elysiana are safe in our hand.
Out of cards.
Okay, here comes that fatigue damage. I think it's time. Develop a 7/7 on the board. Refill our deck. Ooh, could take Hagatha. But Sludge Slurper just seems more attractive. Shudderwock? Definitely the pick. Farsight may draw us into a Shudderwock. And Alexstrasza can heal. Those are pretty decent picks. Oh, and one more pick. Alec here. Yep. Pretty strong picks. Pretty strong picks. The question is, do we trade the 2/3 into the Hecklebot?
Brain overload!
Does that mean anything, considering he's got that Collider equipped? Didn't have enough time to think about it. So I'm going to assume that he has Elysiana in his deck as well. And with me having played my Elysiana and him getting close to playing his, you'd think the game would be coming to an end. No, this game is going to go on for a fair bit longer still. Fork Lightning seemed fine, just to kill one thing. These aren't the greatest options, but fine. Oh, that's pretty good.
From nothing.
Another Haunting Visions? Sure, I'll take it. Can't hex that mech, but we can get some legendary minions, and there's Vargoth. That's incredible. So, what's our RNG going to be like?
Behold!
Oh, okay. Fork Lightning. Which doesn't do anything. Oh dear. And I know why my Vargoth RNG was bad there. I didn't scream "Behold" when Vargoth came onto the board. Yeah. See, if you roleplay as Vargoth and shout "Behold," good things can only happen. I saw Slizzle466 do it on his stream. And every time he'd shout out "Behold," good things would happen with Vargoth. Okay. Couple of taunts in the way. Another Fork Lightning, perhaps? Or do I want a Bloodlust? I'm going to take the Fork Lightning because I don't know if I'll ever be in a position to have more than one or two things on the board where Bloodlust would be effective.
I'm out of cards.
So, he's out of cards. I'm expecting him to play his Elysiana now, but
You say horde, me say prepare.
he hasn't. Huh. Isn't that an interesting card? That's 6/6. Ooh, Omega Mind. Do I need it? I'm at 23. Maybe we pick the Dynamo instead. No, Omega Mind seems good here. We may need the healing. Oh, 6-cost Shudderwock. Pretty amazing. Oh, Lava Burst. So, Fork Lightning here could kill two things if we're lucky. We're very unlucky. Okay, that was terrible. So, at this point,
This storm
yep,
deserves
there she is. Elysiana. But I've got two Shudderwocks in hand, which means I'm going to get the Elysiana effect off twice more. Oh my goodness. Okay. Whenever you shuffle a card into your deck, add a copy to your hand. So now he's got two more Elysianas as well. So we're kind of evenly matched here. It's quite interesting. So debating about healing here.
I am science! I am genius!
Another Haunting Visions, sure. Feral Spirit, Taunts, always good. Or Big Bad Voodoo, could be useful on a Shudderwock at some point.
Double time and double mode!
Okay. Healed up to 22, which I think is respectable. We're still keeping the Hagatha scheme in hand for an emergency turn.
Belongs in a museum.
Okay, maybe we're going to have to use it because there's a lot of damage on board. Maybe we just play the Shudderwock here. 6 mana. But I've got 3 cards left in my deck.
My jaws that bite, my claws that catch.
Should I have played something from my hand before playing the Shudderwock? Oh, 2 to my own face. Okay, taunts are pretty good. Ancestral Spirit on! Oh, Harrison. But we are, we're back to 10 cards in our deck. It's pretty good. Okay, that was pretty eventful. So, we can go wide on the board here. And that's that. Okay. A nice wide board. Oh, and Elysiana gave him brawl. But the Shudderwock survives. Pretty good. He's going to have to tank 6 to the face. And anything to shred the armor there, I think, is pretty good. Any kind of big damage that shreds armor is going to be helpful for us as the game progresses. I just want to get stuff out my hand here. That's another Hagatha's scheme. Okay. So 9 cards in hand. I had to play that spell initially just to free up hand space. Big Bad Voodoo with the Horror or with Alakir seems pretty good. Or even with Alexstrasza, perhaps.
Okay then.
So we have our final Shudderwock in hand, and that's going to be our last hand refill once we've used up the cards that are currently, not a hand refill, deck refill I should say. So that's going to be our last deck refill once these cards have been used up. Water Boy. Huh. So I guess we have to throw our face into the 4-2, but is that something we really want to do? Because that 6 armor is essentially 6 health.
Who needs water? Double time and double pay.
Oh, that's pretty good. Totemic Smash. 2 damage, deals with that minion. And why not? Just to get stuff out of our hand. Sure. $29 damage and 3 damage. And as this game continues on, you sort of wonder, how far are we from reaching the limit? Because there is a limit on the number of turns, where the game would just end as a draw. So the intention was to use Alakir to get another trade, but actually this is better. Shredding 5 armor there. We've taken some damage, but that's okay. That's okay. We have Alexstrasza, so if we get desperate, we can still heal back to 15. Okay, that's another card he picked from Elysiana. So we have to be aware of it. That there will be another copy coming soon, perhaps. Oh, that's so good. That's really, really good. That pickup there. But for now, you could just play the Horror with Big Bad Voodoo. But actually, playing a 2-attack, 14 health taunt, Divine Shield with Big Bad Voodoo is just a little bit better. Because unless he has a silence effect in hand, he's going to struggle to get through this. So, Elysiana has given us Chef Nomi. This could actually be very pertinent as you head to my deck running out of cards. Because we could get a full board. Freeing up hand space, seems sensible there.
I'm almost out of
9 cards in hand. And he still hasn't done very much to get through that 14 health taunt.
To Northrend!
And to Northrend is not going to do very much. Ooh, Wind Fury. Massive pickup there. Now, the question is, can I afford to tank damage? I can't. I'm at 14. I have to keep my health total up.
I'm out of cards.
This story deserves a new ending.
Okay, so that is the Elysiana from the Baleful Banker. And he gets 10 cards now back into his deck. That's really good for him. However, look at the amount of damage that's on my board. 10 from the Wind Fury minion, plus 5, plus 2. And at this point we're so exhausted that adding up is a problem. But 17 on board, plus 2 from the weapon, 19. Earthen Might adds a little bit more damage to the equation. So we can buff the elemental there. Soldier of Fortune. Huh. It's got 5 attack. Okay, so we are really committing hard to this board here. Now, just in case there's another return to hand effect, we need to kill Elysiana. But you know what this is going to bait out? Yeah, Brawl again. From Elysiana, of course. We get Malagos. That's hilarious. How many brawls have we seen in this game? Has anyone been keeping count? Trades into the Malagos. Is that a setup for Execute, perhaps? Or does he just want the armor? There is Alex Straza. That's a massive board. He needs another brawl. Huh. Super Collider from Elysiana. The he does have an Execute. The quality of the cards that he was able to pick there, really good.
Almost out of cards.
And we get another big fat taunt. Feels amazing. So for now, our face is safe. Kind of. Well, actually not really. If he chooses to use that hero power. Wow, down to 7.
Out of cards.
So, is it time to heal? I think it is. Just in case there's something unexpected in his hand. Now, he may not know about this other Shudderwock. I mean, when I played the initial Shudderwock, I think it was discounted. So, at the time, he may have sussed out that that was a copy. But that was a long time ago. And maybe he's forgotten. Maybe in his mind at the moment, he doesn't suspect there's another Shudderwock in my hand ready to go. And maybe he thinks that now I'm just going to be taking all of this fatigue damage. And if he can just hold out for a bit longer, I'll die to fatigue. So next turn, I could play the Shudderwock. I could get 10 cards back into my deck, could get the refill. However, we have Chef Nomi. And I think that's the play. Another Hagatha's scheme. It's hilarious. And this was a misplay, by the way. I should have played. I should have played the AOE first before playing the chef. That was a big misplay. Well, it's not a big misplay. It's just a misplay. The reason it's not a big misplay is because I've done 1 damage to my own minions. It's inconsequential in the long run. Unless he has Brawl, he's still going to struggle to kill them all.
Well played.
And I suspect that that is just game over. He clearly doesn't have Brawl in hand. Despite playing multiple copies throughout this game. And what's also really strange for us is that we're sitting on 4 copies of Hagatha's scheme. And they've not seen any play. May as well just BM him here. BM him with the second chef. And finally, this game comes to an end. So, that was an absolutely exhausting game, but we got there in the end with Jon011684's Control Shaman. Tremendously fun deck to play. I don't know though if I'll be going back to playing this deck. 40-minute games are great. They're a real test of your stamina, of your ability to still think straight after that 20-minute, 30-minute mark. But I just don't have the time, honestly, with life getting in the way, with work getting in the way. If I'm looking to progress on the ladder, 40 minutes for one game is just not feasible. And actually, I think this was my 3rd game with the deck, and all of those games run pretty long. Even games against aggro decks can go 15 minutes because you just spend the entire game clearing their boards time and time again until you've completely run them out of cards, and then you start making your comeback. But that can take time, especially if your opponent is taking time to think their turns through. Maybe they're roping on a number of occasions. That just adds to the time of the game. And as I say, even if your shortest games are 15 minutes, it's still pretty long. So maybe I will park this deck to the side for now and come back to it at a later date, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Yes, the plays were not perfect, but I did the best I could over that 40-minute game. I was really getting tired, really getting exhausted towards the end of it, but I did the best I could, and I hope you guys enjoyed that, because I know that some of you have been wanting to see longer games and longer videos. Hopefully that has quenched your appetite for long games for the time being. So if you liked what you saw, please give the video a like and give me a little subscribe. It would mean a lot to me, and I'll see you all again very soon for more standard mode or wild mode fun.